And good Friday morning. How are you today? And I guess we ought to take the opportunity to remind everybody today is Friday the 13th. Let's make the best of it that we can and think that the best is going to come. So go ahead and leave home early because it is beyond foggy as we start this day. This is one of the worst I've seen. Let's go ahead and pull this up where you get an idea, and we're going to go back to weather several times because it is so bad. First off, let's look at a few pictures that have been sent in so far as we look at the fog, and it is thick. First, we go to Union, Mississippi. Let me pull this up where we can get this a little bit bigger here as we pull this up. Here's Union this morning as the fog comes across the pastures there. A lot there. Now, I've gotten several pictures from the Meridian area already this morning. This is going to be, here we go, up, he's blowing up. Let's get that where you can see it. There's another shot of the Meridian area there. All right, let's go back here. We got, I think, Lost Gap area also of just a few bugs on the windshield, but it gives you an idea of just how bad it is out there, the thickness of it. Visibility is even worse than that in a lot of places. So leave home early, allow a little extra time, and beyond all means, when you get to these mediums of these highways, if you're trying to cross Highway 19, Highway 45, any place like that involves crossing a 4-lane to get to where you've got to go. Be careful, and it might be best to take a right turn, go up, and make a U-turn and come back if it's easier for you. Whichever the case, just be careful. Let's just glance over here and show you what I've got this morning as we pull this up. As we go to Meridian Honda radar, there it is. Look how thick this is. This is going to start at Starkville, go all the way to Demopolis, Alabama, straight through Forest, all this area on I-20 down to Hattiesburg. You're not going to get out of it in a hurry no matter where you go. As we zoom in on this, the thickest of the thick starts in Kemper County and goes through most of Meridian into Cuba, Alabama. Now, it's thick from Newton all the way over here to Livingston. But this area here, this red, is the worst of the worst. So if you're watching in this, allow a little bit extra time. If you need to, you might need to just be late. This is going to burn off by about 9 o'clock this morning. But right now is the worst of the worst. As the morning is coming up, people aren't. You know how this goes. I can word it all different kinds of ways. You just aren't yourself yet. If you hadn't had your coffee, you're trying to get your day going. But look at this. Let's turn on a few of these locations where you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All the way out past Wynot. We get down to right there. It's still thick down in Snail at the Volunteer Fire Department as we go up right past Clarkdale, all through that area, pulling into the school. It's thick. Out to Lost Gap. We get right here to Meehan. Thick, thick, thick. It will get just a few hundred yards down the road, even thicker there at I-20. Look at that. All out by MCC. This will carry you on 494. And again, 2-lane road. Thickness. Now, it doesn't mean it's not thick over here, but boy, all the way to the 4-lane up into Kemper County, almost all the way of the thicker fog to the Volunteer Fire Department there at Damascus. Look at that. It is at the coal plant. Now, again, this, I don't know what you'd call this, a gold color, burnt orange, whatever you want to call that. It's thick also. The red is the thickest of the level. And if you'll see this gray area all on radar this morning, this is where you have your dense fog advisory. And again, that goes through 9 a.m. This morning over to Utah, Alabama, Thomasville, Alabama, Jackson, Chatham, Millery, these areas south, even down to Wiggins and Columbia toward the end of the state there. It's a lot. All the way up past Stark Vegas, Columbus. I'll be careful is the main thing, no matter where you're watching us from. If you're there in West Point, Mississippi, watching us this morning, you've got it as thick as well. So be careful no matter what you do. I got a report just a moment ago, and thank heavens these things, I don't know the details, but I do know that a call was made and everything is okay now. The 2800 block of 29th Avenue in Meridian earlier this morning, a child was reported in the street. Whoever was passing by stopped their car. They called the police and waited to the parents. Somehow or another, the child got away from the parents. Everything is okay. Not sure how the child situation got that way, but thank heaven somebody stopped and stayed with the child. The police got there and got everybody aware of the situation. Things do happen with children. Children are children. And I say that because today is foggy and you never know what could walk out in front of you. So go a little bit slower. Keep things like that in mind. Don't speed. And for heaven's sake, on a day like this, be careful what you're doing in your car. Eating a donut and driving and not having enough attention to what's going on could be something bad. But all is okay in that situation, thank heavens, as we begin this. Today, don't forget the big parade downtown Meridian as we go here to sammedia.network and take a look at this. This is where it's going to be this afternoon. The Budweiser Clydesdale are downtown at the Pub Crawl Parade, kickoff of Jimmy Rogers Festival. It will begin at 5 o'clock, so I hope you'll make it there. They're going to be visiting Harvest Grill, Weidman's, all of that area there, the 3-Foot Hotel. The parade will end at City Hall and kick off to the live music tonight, starting with Tristan Tritt. I think that's Travis's boy, Crawford and Power, and Frank Foster. That's a few of the ones that will be there. So I hope you'll enjoy yourself and get out and enjoy this. You don't get to see these horses every day. This is a big deal for Meridian, and we do appreciate Budweiser for bringing in these celebrities to our area. Not everybody gets those. So a true honor it is to have them. Just a little piece of American history in our little neck of the woods today. And then also they're going to be out on Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 with a one-horse show. Going to be one horse downtown there. So if you get a chance, today is the day to see them all together pulling the wagon. Hope you'll do that. Let's see here. As we begin this day, what all's going on? I had a fire reported just a little bit ago. Now, as we pull this up, this is the same home that caught fire yesterday afternoon. As we go to this home is vacant. It is for sale, from what I understand. It's on 39th Avenue, the 2700 block. I think firemen are still at the scene. Not sure what caused it, but it's there. And I say this, if you're selling your home, put cameras in it. One of the big things that we've seen in the area and all around is you put up your house for sale, you don't live in it, and homeless move in. I'm not kidding you. That is a fact. That does happen. We don't want any surprises for realtors or anyone like that. Safety. Put some cameras in there so you know what's happening in your home 24/7. If you're having to sell it, if you've got two homes, whatever the case is, maybe it's your mom's house that you're getting rid of, selling, just make sure this is not a certain area. It's all over that people do this. Slip in the dead of night and do that. Here's a look at what the streets, and I should have mentioned this with this just a moment ago, but here's the street closings for tomorrow. The activities is the 3-Foot Festival will get underway, and this is going to stretch. First Street's going to be closed off all the way over here to 8th Street, right down through here. 7th Street, it'll go to 8th Street there in front of the temple and go down. All of that area there will be closed off for the 3-Foot Festival. It'll be a large time in Meridian tomorrow. Hope you can make it out and enjoy yourself. This was one of the bigger events that we had last year, right after we got to finally get out and do something. Y'all remember that? Do that. Let's see here. Angela Dunnigan said she's seen that in St. Louis before. Good morning to Joe Collins. Glad to see you there. To Corey, morning there. Hope you have a blessed day also. Skip and Debbie Holloway, glad to see y'all up and at 'em today. It's good to see folks here. Let's see, Joyce Gressett's up. Reggie McKee, hadn't seen you in a while, Reggie. Hope all is good there. Charlotte Gray. And Charlotte has a very valid point of watching for school buses during all of this. Kids are going to be getting on and off this morning. Be careful, drive slower. Linda Jane, how are you from the UAB in Birmingham, Alabama? Tell Jerry we said hello, and we keep you all in your prayers as you're there. We hope everything is well. Charlotte Gray watching us from Philadelphia. Got 1.5 inches of rain yesterday, she says, in Philadelphia. It was a lot, wasn't it? LaWanda says it is. Think no kidding on that. From the Dixon community, Teresa Breedlove, how are you? Glad to see you up. And the list goes on of folks just stirring around. Shine Pogue watching us from Newton this morning. We had one of those uh-oh moments yesterday. Hate it when that happens if you're not turning the curve just right. And, well, this slowed down traffic for just a minute there on Old Meridian Road. Didn't quite make the swing big enough. And front row, got to have a record to pull that out. He's okay. Didn't help his feelings any. Now, it was late. We had 2 accidents yesterday. And the picture that I'm getting ready to show you, they were okay, minor. And it's going to shock you. This was minor injuries. You'll look at this picture and go, my heavens, how did anyone walk away from this? This is, as we say, when you leave home, be careful, drive a little bit slower, especially during fog. Not sure what caused this wreck, but I want you to look at this. This is just a testimony of God was watching after you as we look at this. This was I-20 yesterday afternoon. around mile marker 123 eastbound as we look at this. That's just a miracle as we come across here as they clean up all of this. 2 to 3 cars. It was actually 2 wrecks involved, separate right there in the same area as we look at this. Traffic was blocked, and again, they were fortunate to get out of that as we go to that on-the-scene look of what it was like. Maybe you know them, I'm not sure, but they're okay, and somebody was watching out for them. Another huge accident, and this would be into the late hours of last night before traffic was cleared up. Morton, Mississippi is where it was all shut down. As you going up near Pelahatchie was about where the wreck was, and they were trying to reroute traffic for everyone to be okay. And let's take a look at what this was. And again, it was nighttime, way into the night. I went to bed around 10, and it wasn't open at that point. It was after that it got opened. This is the scene on I-20 yesterday as 2 18-wheelers collided, as you'll look at this. Caught on fire, fuel spill. A mess it was. As you can see, it took the entire cab off that truck. Burst into flames. It burned for hours. A very serious accident there. Again, this was over near Morton, Pelahatchie area. As you look at these pictures, every day that you leave home is a miracle. And I've got just tons of pictures of this loaded on our page to where you can take a look at what went on. The traffic that was backed up, where traffic was being diverted. There were people that sat for hours and ended up being okay. I posted this last night. I had spoke with Eric Clark the day before, and they had someone in Highway 19 that was outrunning deputies on a motorcycle. The speeds got just a little bit out of hand, up to about 150 miles an hour at one time. At the end of the day, you can't outrun the long arm of the law. And that's a big one there as you get into this in Neshoba County, as they don't put up with it. They keep going after this. Rider on a motorcycle eluded police, took a right-hand turn off of Highway 19, and the back roads they went. As we said, speeds got up to about 125 to 150 in that neighborhood there. It was fast. They did get a tag number, and they were able to issue a warrant yesterday, and they got that. Joshua Dahl of Collinsville turned himself in after they issued this. He faces numerous traffic violations, and also including felony fleeing. He was released on a $10,000 bond. That's exactly what we have there. Boy, that was a mess, wasn't it? It was. That's as we look at this. We've got a lot coming up with this today as we continue. We've got more right around the corner. Don't rush off as we continue to let you know what's going on in the area this morning. Rock House Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rock House will have the gun that you need, with a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rock House Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings this week. Fresh yellow corn, 3-year package, $2.29. Ripe tomatoes, a 4-pack, $1.99. Mississippi sweet potatoes, 69 cents a pound. Heinz Easy Squeeze Ketchup, 20-ounce, 2 for $4. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. And New York Strip Family Pack, $10.99 a pound.
When we're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Let's go west of Meridian and talk about what happened this week in Newton County. Pretty serious here when a firearm has to be pulled, but there are occasions where that has to happen. And as we pull up this next story, as I spoke with Sheriff Jody Pennington, very serious matter here. And let's look at this. You can find this on sammedia.network. A person tried to go through a window. They ended up kicking in the front door of a home. After they got in, they were toting a sledgehammer and made their way to the bedroom where the homeowner had locked themselves in. They had called deputies, and once that happened, they fired their weapon, striking the victim. The victim has been taken to Jackson, to a hospital. Stable condition is what I understand, but there are times that you are forced, you have no choice but to make that decision. Someone in your bedroom with a sledgehammer. They had to do that, and it ended up being that the person that did this was a relative. They meant business. Sledgehammer, you don't play around. You don't bust somebody's door in. There's not going to be any charges filed on this because the homeowner was protecting themselves. Self-defense is what that was. But put yourself in that place. That'd have to be scary. Someone kicks in your door and comes in after you. And they did what they had to. Several shots were fired. One struck the victim that was attacking them in their home. That's all good. And again, that comes from Newton County as we catch up with what went on there this week. As we look around, there's always Shad White. Makes the headlines a lot in Mississippi. Why? Because, well, he's doing his job. Probably some people that don't want Chad to do his job because he investigates. He makes a lot of arrests, and former auditors are questioning at this point that he's too close to Governor Phil Bryant to be investigating. Makes you wonder about them. Now, I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just saying when you have headlines starting to question somebody that's doing their job right, it makes you think otherwise. Whether it's Phil Bryant or whoever, I think most of us have learned with Phil Bryant. Let me go back to that. Shad White, it's black or white. He does his job. I don't think this man has favoritism toward anybody. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong with Shad White. I think he's very capable of investigating the former governor. We'll watch this case. This is getting deeper and deeper. And what am I talking about? The welfare case in the state of Mississippi. The money that was meant for folks that needed it was blown. It was given to people. Y'all know where this is going. We've already got 2 in jail that's going to spend quite some time. They got millions out of this. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper. And Shad is not going to let go. He's like that little dog with that little bark that just keeps right on. He doesn't back off, and I like that about Shad White. Don't be strayed, and don't let these people try to sway you from doing your job. And that's what it looks like they're trying to do. That's an opinion. I could be wrong on that, but whenever I see headlines, that's what it makes me think of. We'll watch it and let you know what becomes of that. 6 students have been suspended in Gulfport. Why? Come to school with a gun. Can't do that these days. There was the 8th grade class there. 6 students involved in the whole thing, and thankfully no one was hurt. We're glad of that. As we go back to Jackson, Mississippi, a few weeks ago, we brought up that a body had been found on the side of the road in a ditch. They've identified it. It was an 18-year-old that they found, most likely gang-related. His body was dumped. His name is Roderick Evans. He did have a name. We pass along condolences to his family. Awful situation there. As we look around here, a Pearl mother has been charged with attempted murder of an infant. She was arrested after an 8-week-old baby was left in critical condition. That happened back on Thursday, yesterday there. Pearl police said they were made of the situation and the baby was thrown. They've made an arrest on that. Children can't, at that age, y'all know this, no child can take up for themselves, and adults are supposed to be good parents. Awful situation there. Arrest has been made. Hopefully this child will end up somewhere that's loved. We certainly hope so. This one is a bizarre story, and it could happen to anyone. As we go to Yazoo City is where this all went down, where a couple, first the wife comes home, someone's in her house robbing it. It was 4 people with a mask. She's duct taped and tied. I think it's her husband, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they were married. Her boyfriend comes home. They get him. They take him in 2 separate cars from there. They kidnap him, throw him in the trunk. She's parked on one side of town, and then she's forced to make calls to get a ransom up for him. The boyfriend was thrown in the back of a trunk. At some point, he was able to pull, that little latch that's in the trunk? He was able to do that. He was beat pretty bad. He fell out of the back of the trunk, still duct tape, made his way to somebody's house. They called police. They were both safe. Shook up pretty bad. You don't hear cases like that very often, do you? Yazoo City, this is being investigated more and more. We hope they catch the people that did this. It's one of the big headlines across the state this morning. We crossed that Alabama state line. This just gives you heebie-jeebies to even, can I use that word, heebie-jeebies? Like we used to back home. As we read this, a man has died following a crash in Alexander City. The wreck happened 2 weeks ago before they found him. Condolences to that family. He was a 30-year-old man who died in a crash, ran off the road. You could not see the car from the highway. That's how that all came about. They kept retracing his footsteps, and then they did find him. A bad, bad, bad way there to go there. Let's see what else is going on. Mississippi State Senator was dining out, well, when his truck was broken into. Kevin Blackwell, his guns, his truck was stolen. Mississippi State Senator. It can happen to him. It can happen to you, can it? That was Jackson, Mississippi, where that went. The headlines this morning as you're waking up is the Twitter deal is on hold. Elon Musk. I said that wrong, didn't I? Elon Musk. The $44 billion agreement to buy Twitter has hit a snag about fake accounts. We'll learn more about that today, but that is the headline this morning as you're waking up. Whew. Another big headline, South Carolina. The woman who won 20 of the worst cooks in America has been found guilty. She's headed off to jail for life for beating her 3-year-old foster daughter to death. Y'all remember that story? They've passed sentencing now. I think it should have been worse, in my opinion, but that's my opinion as well. Full moon this weekend. That's coming on Sunday. Y'all watch out. They say it really affects people, the way they act. Crimes go up. Children act worse. Does it affect it? It affects the ocean. All of that is coming up Sunday. We'll watch this. We'll tell you more about it. We've got your forecast next. Don't rush off. You'll learn something. That's all next here. The Scotty Ray Report. If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike and Jake have years of experience of dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Already at 69 degrees this morning as we head toward 90, and yes, we'll get into the forecast. It's kind of confusing. A lot going on with it. Our record highs and record lows, 1962, we set a high record of 96 degrees. Our lowest was 1960, a couple of years before that, at a low of 38 on this date. Been quite a few years, hasn't it? Showers are expected today more to the west of us, and we'll look at the map. There's some severe weather that is threatening the western part here, beginning at about Scott County. We'll look at that. 89 today in Meridian through Philadelphia, and 88 all the way toward Columbus as we make our way through Louisville. Down southward, Hattiesburg, 89. We'll even get to 90 degrees over Natchez. As we come across that Bama state line, this is how it turns out. We're looking for 88 there at the University of Livingston, Alabama this morning, where it's foggy. Be careful. Birmingham, 85, and over to Auburn, 81. As I mentioned, severe weather is likely today as we look at this. And we'll pull up my radar in a moment just to show you the difference and look at the areas. Roughly the west side as you go into Leake County, down through Scott County and areas of Smith, and even portions of Jasper will be in this level 1 of severe weather this afternoon. This will begin around 1 o'clock through about 8 tonight. The Meridian area should be good, and you could always see a sprinkle. We got a light chance, but it should be west of us. Right here, Newton, you might get a little bit there on that west side there. We'll look at this in a moment as a closer detail where we can zoom in. As we come across, flash flooding possible, these same areas here. If you're headed toward Jackson this afternoon, I-20, when you get past Newton, be ready. You could get into some horrific rain as you head toward the capital city. As we look at the fog this morning, as we've seen already, half a mile, quarter mile visibility. This is a quarter mile right here. This is a half a mile. This is going to be happening through about 9 a.m. this morning. Be careful. As we look at this, Sunday, severe weather is going to be the northern part of the state. And keep in mind, this is a couple of days off. This could all change and come a little bit further south. We'll watch this closely. It's a level 1. It means we could have some storms and some gusty winds with this, causing some downed trees. It's going to be late Sunday night into early Monday morning. Something to watch as that comes closer. The heat wave continues. Look at this. It's not any better. As we look out to Texas, California is getting normal, but Texas, what's next for us is hot weather. As we pull up this forecast, here we go. As we look at the next 7 days, how is it? Well, as I said, today a little bit different. We got a lot going on in the forecast as we pull up today, and we do have a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 2. most likely we're going to be fine. It would be quick. We got the dense fog through about 9 o'clock this morning, and then sunshine and 90. But just to our west is where the heavy rain will be. Tonight, a cloudy sky down to 65. Tomorrow, a 60% chance of rain after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to be a pretty big shower there tomorrow afternoon. So we'll watch that closely for all the downtown festivities as well. That high, 87 to 88 by Sunday. The rain's moving out there. High and sunshine of 88. We'll do the same on Monday, and y'all see it coming. We start seeing those 90-degree days once again, 92, 93 toward the end of the week. Let's go ahead and pop into this through the 27th of the month. What happens? They stay in the 90s. It's not dropping below it, is it? All the way through the 27th. Monday the 24th still being one of the warmest there. That weekend there, next weekend is what we're looking at. Rain, hot weather, boy. And, we're just 2 to 3 weeks now away from hurricane season kicking off June 1st. Keep that in mind. How is the fishing today? It looks like, not too bad as we go to Chet's Paint and Body to find out how to do that. It's going to be 11 o'clock today till about 1. Perfect time to be on the water to fish, and then you'll get another chance late this afternoon. 5:30, 5:45, be on the water. It'll be great to fish. Now, that's a quick look at that. Let's go back to radar this morning and let you just see exactly what we've got as we turn to this bad weather here. As we pull this up today, let's go back and pull where you can see here from Meridian Honda radar. We still have all of this fog, the Meridian area being the worst into Kemper County, now starting to make its way into Clark County. Let's go ahead and pull up this severe weather that is predicted for today and take a look at what we've got. And for whatever reason, that did not turn on. Can't tell you why. Oh, it'd be because, no, there it is. That's supposed to work. Got an issue there that may need to be rebooted. Not working properly. Our line is right here, is what we've got for today. Right along here at the Scott County line. We'll watch this closely as we predict the weather. As severe weather out to our west today toward the Jackson area, all in these areas. And as you see here, this is where we had some damage there. Trees were knocked down near Sebastopol yesterday. I got a lot of comments sent in to me yesterday afternoon about the Sebastopol area. Boy, it sure looks rough. It was. Around Forest, we had trees down there on Highway 80 near Lake as well. Now, again, our focus today is this fog. Oh, look at there. It came alive, didn't it? Let's look at that quickly here before I let you go. This is the level 1 of what we've got today. Let me go back here and turn off these days here. Here's today, the level 1 area that we've been talking about. This is going to stretch from Laurel right up here. Here's Newton. Right on the outskirts of Newton is where this will begin as we turn on our locations and look at this. You'll get right here to Lawrence, and it'll be pretty chances of rain. By the time you get to the Scott County line, a little bit heavier as we watch this all the way through Jackson, these areas here, a level 1. This cuts up due northward as we follow this edge here along Newton County. As we get up here now, again, this area around Conahatta will be involved in this. We get here, and it just follows the very edge of Highway 16 right up around right here, up to Edinburgh. As we come across there and take a look there, it's going to be Leake County, and then on in toward Kosciuszko, taking that area. So that's what we've got. Again, heavy fog as we follow this from Meridian Honda radar. We're coming back in 1 hour from now to give you a full morning show. We'll fill you in on all the details of what's going on locally, nationally. Maybe bring a smile to your face. I hope you'll join us. Candace will be here. Hopefully you will too. Rick Joyner, good morning. Glad to see you there. Natalie Brister. It's hard for me to remember that last name since you got married. I know it's been many years and I should catch on, but you're still Natalie. Good to see you, girl. All of y'all. We'll be back here shortly as we'll start this morning off for you. Again, drive careful. Lots of fog throughout the area. We'll be back from the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: